It's August 25th, 2023. Yesterday it was, oh my god. People were following me. I went to Acme in North Canton. People pulled in and said they didn't have a court order to be in her house before. Why is anybody saying anything to her? And then other people pulled up. Some lady said, "Oh, Karen, I found out what they did." Okay. I go up to Akron to work. I'm sitting outside, or I went outside to get something out of my car at first, and they're selling the login, okay, and they're selling it to all kinds of people. Nicer neighborhood, okay. Some guy yells out till it echoes down the street. What is this? Some kind of government conspiracy? Selling government technology? Stealing from victims? And then paying people to make fun of them? For them stealing from them? I started giggling. I thought, you nailed it. You nailed it. Because who gave them the login to my phone? Who gave them the login to my car and the case? The agents that were laughing at me on a recorded line for being human trafficked and being stalked and didn't arrest my stalker that was drug beating raping me and laughing at me that I didn't even know who he was. They were that dirty of federal officers on a recorded line. And they have sold the video and the audio of those agents laughing at me. People were so mad Tuesday. I go in Panda Bear. The FBI made fun of her for being human trafficked. Nobody's to say a word. Other girls walk by. Those two agents were laughing at her for being a human trafficking victim, and she was being drug beaten, raped, and she didn't understand what was happening to her. And they're laughing at her on a recorded line. They better take care of those two idiots. Okay? They did. They did. I was sitting outside with my client when the neighbors came out and said they sold a login to the car today, where I've been leaving my phone in, playing all my videos. They want to drive by and harass me. They need to realize what they're making fun of, because then none of this is funny. Okay? Some guy ran out of his house. He's like, they sold the login to Karen's vehicle today. We've been listening to the videos. It was some drug dealer broke in and drugged up Karen before, told her to say a bunch of stupid stuff, and now he's paying people to make fun of her. Yeah. And those agents were making fun of me for being his victim. Anybody that goes to Faith Family Church, in 1819, I started at Faith Family Church. About 20, 30 men showed up. Said they were FBI working the case. They were CIA working the case. Michelle told everybody she was dating Dave, and her dad was FBI working the case. Her dad wasn't FBI. Her dad's a retired judge with no authority in the drug cartel, like the one in Florida that got arrested. Had about 100 men working with him, running scams. She would hold court of 10, 15 girls, talking about the case, selling the login, all those men bragging they were the ones drugging me up and telling me to say stuff. The guy that raped me between July and September 19 in protective custody told everybody he was FBI and he was nothing but a drug dealer. That's why the other guy that was helping him torture me was a stalker, and then there was an old fat white man. They took videos of it and sold it to even children. After they tortured me, within a few weeks, I finally got enough courage. I told you I went to go to church, and I went to the stress walk around the mall, and I seen him. He was stalking me. And he follows me to Faith Family Church. He actually came in front of 1,000 people. I'd arrest that whore. Calls me a whore for him raping and torturing me. Young Asher with white, with black hair, black glasses, 20 to 30. Had dark eyes. You screamed at him. What you did was considered rape. You leave her alone. It was a drug dealer threatening to arrest me. Not one of them was FBI. The FBI left me up there. All those people that were in Faith Family Church, they were bragging. They had the sodium pentothal reports. They were the ones drugging me. They could control everything I said and did with those drugs. They were bragging to Faith Family Church. They were selling the login. They were the drug traders that were human trafficking people. And they were scamming 3,000 people. Anybody knows who they are, turn them in. Some biker guy pulls up with his girlfriend and said the guy that raped her laughs that he raped her in front of the police and nobody arrested him. And he got away with raping her in front of people. And he said if he doesn't stop making fun of that he got away with raping somebody in front of the police, and the law don't take care of him, me and my girlfriend's to him. Take him right where a counselor girl. No, I'm just joking. Maybe. But you know what I mean? It's bad when society's threatening to take care of these people. Better yet, lady, don't kick him. Don't put yourself down on his level. You know who he is? Turn him into the cops. That he's the one that tortured Karen. Turn him in. You know his name? Turn him in. That's 20 to 50 years for torturing somebody. Turn him in. He can be somebody's boy toy in prison. That'll teach him. Start turning these people in. They tell everybody not to say anything because they don't want to go to jail. They're the drug traders, human trafficking people. And they're telling everybody not to tell on them. And they've stole 1,072 children in 5 months out of Ohio. This year alone. Not counting women. 1,072 children. The sheriffs and marshals out of this area used the case that those agents opened with statements as a protected home custody for an FBI informant. And all the drug traders and human traffickers that were around me. My car's booked inside and out. They drive by. They had their plates. They had them admitting that they were drugging me. They were human trafficking. They got 800 of them nationwide. It was that big a case. They were all over me. From Ravenna to Canton to Massillon. And they were stealing people and selling them. And bragging they were doing it around me. From the mall. They were in Walmart 62. They were down in Minerva. They were stalking me like crazy. Turn them in. If you know who they are, turn them in. The cops would love to get them. Now, we're going to put it this way. Those agents, when I told you that I had called the hotline when the guy threatened to knife me. He's one of the main kidnappers for the human traffickers. This is where it's rich. The authorities know what he looks like. Okay? He took my house manager and Melissa's niece. They killed my coworker, Lori's family member, and cut her up in pieces. Had people mock her. There's 6 satanic demons. Okay? I told you I called the hotline and they drugged me up for 3 days so I couldn't get out of bed. And he had left his number and voicemail so they could get to him. And that agent should have nailed him to his desk. It's the 4th Amendment over the house. Nobody can be in your home. Except for police and agencies in protected custody cases with statements. The police have verified that. It's right on the Department of Justice. Nobody can be in your home. It's stalking. So the whole thing of them laughing at me shows, like they said, they're actually that corrupt. Okay? I told you I was sitting on the front porch holding my head. What's wrong with me? I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Here they're date rape, drugging me, beating me, raping me. I'm covered with bruises, severe swollen personal infection, been throwing up, headache, dizzy, lost 18 pounds before I called FBI. They've been drugging the hell out of me and human trafficking me out of that house. Okay? And they're drugging me up and telling me to say stuff with date rape drugs. So I wouldn't know what was happening. And there's stalking tapes. Okay? It's a scam from the drug dealers. Breaking in private homes, scamming people, drugging them up, leaving them bruised, throwing up. Worse, in fact, they're human trafficking people out of their own homes. And then photoshopping shower scenes and stalking tapes. And then drugging people up, and so they don't know what happened to them, and they get them to say something crazy. And they never talk to anybody. Okay? So I told you I was sitting on the front porch, what's wrong with me? And my head's spinning up. And I thought, I gotta get air in my face. I call that guy back. And I go out and start mowing the lawn because I was too afraid to leave the property. And then halfway through, I thought it's Sarah. I already gave the hotline her number. So I call her, of course, I'm scared for you. It's getting darker and scarier the way she's talking about it. So I go out and buy her card, put that agent's number in it, make it an excuse to go down to the mall. And before church, we drop it off. Her manager put it in her locker. We go up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer got in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. How dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life? While I walk off, women walk up to me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and said he didn't care. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Well, I have bruises all over me, severe personal infection. Been seen by the doctor, Altman family physician, all summer long. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Okay? And my heart's sinking in my stomach. Is that what's going on? I go in and I sit down and they come in and say it again. Said if she was going to be faking, she was sick and thinking she got well when that family was grieving. I wasn't faking. I had worked my ass off to get well. It was a medication error. Okay? He didn't care what they did to her, and he was going to turn her back over to him. He had no plans on helping me. Told Apostolic Church of Barberton he was never going to help me. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Dave comes in, let's go. Threatens my life on the way home and swinging at me till I almost jumped out on the highway. Next morning, I have rivers of tears, and I'm calling that agent. I'm scared for my life. And I told him somebody told on me. Called me a liar. It was verified by officers. It was him. There was police officers up there. Okay? I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. Was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. I said he tried to kidnap me before. He's like, you liar. He was known to be a kidnapper for the human traffickers. They took my house manager, Merlisa's niece, and then she told him that the authorities knew what he looked like. So I'm describing a serial killer, and he's calling me a liar? He's calling me a liar. Was there a camera about that bench? I don't know. You either say you're lying, or I'll put you in jail. And I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. Terry let me tape her with her permission. She's seen him. Okay? Now, you either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. Fine, whatever. Starts bullying me into false statements under threats of arrest. And they said, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to kill me, so. They have tried to kill me, so. Guy yells out, well, we could have used Pete's tape before being whipped. And his guy starts giggling. Stop. She doesn't know. I said, what's going on? He yells out about Pete again. It's echoing into the phone. I said, what's going on? Stop. She don't know. Giggling at me for being human trafficked. And they're acknowledging my stalker that's drugging, beating, raping me and framing me, and that I didn't know. Agents, FBI agents, they have sold that video of that audio of those agents laughing at me. And people are like, the FBI laughed at her for being human trafficked. Nobody say a word to her. They did. Okay? And he's like, give me a real reason. Well, my brother-in-law was CIA. I told him my brother-in-law was a private consultant for the FBI on restricted war weapons, worked under Dick Cheney. That made him CIA. Okay? He's like, fine, I'll list you inform. It comes with $5,000 a month, and I'll open an account today. He said, and you'll have that money to live on when you move out. He said, "There, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again. No man will ever touch you. I'll make sure of it." Okay? He said, "And we'll always put it back as if it never happened, and only for you, and only for you would we ever do this for. And you can't be legally charged for anything ever again for working this case. Even when you tell, and you'll have that money to live on. Then threaten me if I told." I told my friend that used to work at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office. He started giggling like a little girl. He said, "That agent can't talk to you like that, and the police can't go along with it. He can't bully you into false statements. He can't ask you to stay quiet. It takes a sitting judge to take your freedom of speech away, like in a sequestered juror or grand jury, and they can only do it then." He said, "No judge would write the court order if you told somebody blah 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 blah. They would never let anybody take your freedom of speech away, because the Department of Justice would put them in jail for signing that. He was only bullying you to stay quiet so they'd get away with it." I said, "Well, they already knew." He said, "I don't care. You can tell whoever you want in any witness protection program, and they can't say a word." And he said, as far as the FBI, they can never legally drop you. He said, or they'll go to jail. He said they can only put you in another witness protection program. And he said, once the government agrees to protect you, they cannot unprotect you. And they owe you that money if you work a case for 5 minutes of a case, 10 minutes of a case, a year, whatever. They owe you for the rest of your life and to protect you, so they can't go back and find somebody else to kill you. The Department of Justice will put them in jail for it. He said, and they owe you all that money. December 2nd, 22, Wendy's Alliance, one of the guys that watched me from the protected custody case, was talking to some guy. He said, "Is that the one that church tried to have killed?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Archie didn't get any money on this." He said, "No, it's the one guy from the case stealing every dime since the first day." They never, like the main cop that went to Dave, was over the case. He was outside Kohl's talking to a lady on Tuesday. He said, "None of this is funny. We weren't allowed to tell her the FBI left her there. We were supposed to keep an eye on her. Somebody started that nobody was allowed to help her, and we don't even know how that one started. And we were just randomly keeping an eye on her, and all those things happened to her." She said, "Was it the drug cartel doing it to her?" He said, "Yes, we seen them. They were all over. We didn't realize it." Said, "Did her ex-husband defend her?" He said, "Yeah, we taped him. So did I." Okay? He said, "She's never talked to anybody." He said, "No." He said, "They really did frame her before." He said, "Yes." "Well, dear God, they've been admitting to drugging me and telling me to say stuff since 18 in front of the cops. And that they admitted to a shower scene in the other room in 21, and their stalking tapes. The two crackheads were playing with me." And said, "Well, they really did frame her before." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Was a medication error that made her sick before?" He said, "Yes. And somebody else was using her insurance. We verified it." She said, "None of this is funny." No, it's not. No, it's not. People have died. People have been taken. And these idiot people run around making fun of me for some crackhead kicking in my door, stalking me, breaking in, date rape, drugging me, telling me to say something stupid, photoshopping a shower scene in the other room, laughing that they did it, and then drugged me up and told me to say something, and then beat and raped me so I'd wake up with bruises, throwing up, headache, heart racing, almost passing out, and a severe swollen personal infection, and went to the doctor all summer long and lost 18 pounds. They pulled the case. I lose another 70 pounds. I couldn't even keep saliva down. They were human trafficking me in front of the cops. You want to go there? And they have him dead to rights. The sheriffs and marshals, I have a friend that lives about 2 hours away. I have a friend in the police department. They know about the case that agent opened with you. They knew about the Texas group that in your case. I said, "Oh, the Kingsmen." Is that what they called themselves? And there's men dressed business casual watching us. And he's like, there was a retired judge in this big human in Texas, in this big human trafficking scam. That's what this is. It's a big human trafficking scam. The FBI left it open and the drug traders just used it to scam people. Went down and questioned me, killed us up. There's another retired judge in another state in this big human trafficking scam. He said they found 35 people tied up in a railroad car. The African American people they were taking, they were just shooting them and throwing their bodies along railroad tracks. He said police aren't releasing a lot of information. They're getting ready to take care of these drug traders that are human trafficking people. He said, and they're going to use your case. Well, they were all over me. They were all over me. My phone's bugged. It records if I'm on it or not. My car's bugged inside and out. My apartment's bugged. And they had all those people that were here. He said, and they're getting ready to take care of it. He said, you have so much hurt and pain in your eyes. And then he starts drilling me until I stutter. And while they watch, I cried for 2 days. Don't do that to me. These people terrorized me on Satan levels. 3 weeks later, the sheriffs and marshals out of this area did an 800 people sweep. They got the Buffalo, New York people that were here, Michigan, Florida, California, New York. I'll tell you what, there was Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina. There was a guy that looked like Al from Home Improvement from Washington State. The Kingsmen from Texas. The Detroit boys were here. And they were all bragging they were drug trading and human trafficking people around me. The 3 doctors that are from India, the youngest one's named Henry, they were bragging they were grabbing people, running experiments on them. And they were bragging that from Belden Village to Maslin. And they even actually say where they took them in December of 18 to January 19 in Florida, where they were human trafficking people. These people sold the login across the nation by November of 18. October, November 18. They were walking around Walmart 62. They're selling the login for $25 a pop. It went viral. Okay. June 7th, 23, Walmart 62, Lighthouse Tabernacle. The cult makes fun of the FBI. FBI agent John actually fell for the stunner tapes before. Oh, come on now. That agent actually fell for it? You're kidding. Is that what's going on? FBI agent John actually fell for the stunner tapes before? Ha, 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 ha. Is that why they got away with it? Because FBI agent John fell for the stunner tapes before? Ha, 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 ha. June 7th, 23, Walmart 62 by the front bathrooms, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. They still have it. November 18th, 22, Walmart 62 by the hair salon. Eric, one of the drug dealers, comes in. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people turn on, they fell for it. Well, if it was only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad, and they still fell for it. Then I could go through the drugs and told to say it, to the shower scene in the other room, to admitting and framing me, and more than 10 went to the police, and the police taped him admitting it. That's where a week ago Thursday, I was in Akron. Some ladies walked by, even the drug dealers they hired to watch her. Drug dealers. That explains why I thought the FBI had lost it. I thought, what are you doing drinking and driving? They were drug dealers. Okay? All right. July 9th, 23, Trinity Gospel. Women sent behind me and my client. They meant to sell in the login, making a ton of money off of it. They dared the FBI to fix it. The FBI wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. They dared them. They sold them. People are like, are that local FBI afraid of them? I told you. November 24th, 22, I'm in Mercy Medical emergency room. The nurse taking care of me because I had food poisoning was talking to the Lady Canton officer. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for it. Nobody should say a word to her again. The Lady Canton officer said, well, you know the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. They all know about that. Last Thursday, I was up in Akron. Some lady walked by with a guy and said, Even the drug dealers they hired to watch her, they don't even think this is funny. She said, did she do anything wrong? He said no. She said no. The drug dealers already confessed everything was them before, and they made fun of the FBI for falling for it. Are they going to do anything about it? We don't know. None of this is funny, and they left her there. She said that she even talked to my ex-husband, and it was a medication error that was wrong with her, and they did tell them to sue him before. The doctors, for what they did to her, made her so sick. And he didn't tell anybody and let all those people hurt her. None of this is funny. I'm not pro this.